And now, for the finale of the Baroque Works Saga. As I said in the last video, I did mostly enjoy this arc. There's one thing about it, and it's not exclusive to this arc, but it might be more of a One Piece or manga issue in general because of the nature of the storytelling and how it can expand over time unexpectedly, and what they do to make up for that. But there's a technique involved here that, for lack of a better term, might be considered Baroque. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get going. Chapter 213 VIP. One of my favorite things in this section is just this immediate look on Chopper's face as he's being complimented. I don't know if it's just the utter shock of being complimented or if it's just his concentration face. It seems to be surprised, but in the moment before you catch that part, it just seems like maybe he just does things like that. I don't know. It's funny. It's hilarious. This chapter is basically about everyone recovering, deciding they're about to leave, making a little bit of conversation with everybody, people patting each other in the back, Luffy eating lots of food, them all laughing, having a party, having a good time. They celebrate, right? And they do the bathhouse thing, have some more conversations there. That's when you find out they're just going to leave like immediately. Not only is Vivi going to have to make some kind of decision, we also at the end find out there's now a giant reward or bounty on both Luffy and Zolo, that the Navy's going to be after them and they might have trouble leaving. That's that chapter. Chapter 214, Strategy to Escape the Sand Kingdom. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor. Volume 28, alas, the village of the headband-wearing catfish is crushed by a shipwreck. Poor catfish. I wonder where that ship came from exactly. Okay. We open with Vivi, and everyone's left already, and Igram's trying to warn them about their bounties, but they're gone already. And then, surprise, Django makes a return here, as well as Double Iron Fist Full Body. I guess it's Django's now. Django the Turncoat, Third Mate Navy, and Double Iron Fist Full Body, Third Mate Navy. I know Full Body recognizes at least Sanji at some point here. I just don't remember seeing him before, other than with the Django chapters, but I'm assuming he was there somewhere, and it just didn't stick in my brain. They're dancing for Lady Hina. Yeah, of course they are. The dancing should continue, really. And they've got flowers for her, too. Yeah. So they're still doing what they're doing. They're confused, obviously. Now we see Luffy and gang, minus Vivi, obviously, riding the ducks to their boat, wherever their boat is, which I don't remember right now. We got Igram worried about Vivi leaving. We got Vivi sort of lamenting how quiet it all is. And then we get a bit of a flashback to Mr. 2 calling Luffy and gang and trying to be friendly. But he's got their ship, so they have to go to him regardless. So that's where they're headed. And Vivi can't decide what to do. But they give her a plan. They're like, look, we're going to get the ship. We're going to drive, sail by Nanohana and then the East Port. And if you want to come, meet us there. And we'll just be driving by and you have to jump on. So that's set up. So she's got to make some kind of decision by noon tomorrow. In the meantime, Luffy and company, they find their ship. They find Mr. 2. There's lots of crying and talking, and Mr. 2's actually pretty great, as confused as he is. Or, yeah, I'll just leave it there. But he considers them his friends, and they were kind of friendly before they had to fight. So, why not? We have Lady Hina preparing for battle. And there's about to be a fight. That's the end of the chapter. Chapter 215. Last Waltz. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 29. Hachi comes upon the village of starving catfish. They're now starving because their village was destroyed by that ship. And Hachi is now there to witness it. Igram we have Igaram dreaming that Vivi's going to become a pirate queen. Actually, really cool pirate getup that she has in this vision. But he runs to check on her, and now she's getting ready for her speech and her coming-of-age ceremony, which normally would have been done years ago, except she went undercover and disappeared, right, in the Baroque Works to try to help undo the rebellion, uncover the truth behind the things that were going on that caused the rebellion, really, right? She's trying to figure out what to say. She doesn't know what to say. They get word that the fighting has started with the Navy, and they're like, well, our hands are tied right now, so they're not going to do anything. We go to Luffy and company fighting the Navy. They're outnumbered. There's some special formation. Luffy recognizes Django, because from his hypnotist days. What was that, in Syrup Village or something? Usopp, like, sinks at least one of their ships. Is it more than one? I mean, he pulls something off pretty much by accident, but yeah, he's surprised at how effective he was. Mr. 2 recognizes Black Cage Hina, so he knows her strategies. He helps them form a plan. They kind of split up. One group going to pick up Vivi and the other to be a decoy the other way. Back at, I don't know if they're actually in Nanohana or if they're around the castle. I think they're around the castle area, but Vivi has something very important to tell her father and Igaram. Keep trying to call him Igraham at the moment for some reason. Abraham, Igaram. So he could be an Abraham. It could work, right? Back to Mr. Bond Clay being a decoy for them. They realize they went after the wrong ship, I think, and then gives Luffy the opening they need. They use, yeah, that's right. Mr. 2 gets to use his cloning ability to fake them out. That's right. So they follow the wrong ship because Mr. 2 looks like Luffy. Good job, Mr. 2. Shall we dance? Hina is very angry. Chapter 216. Vivi's Adventure. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 30. Hachi runs for it. Alright, I'm missing something. Now he's got treasure and he's running for it. I'm not even... Maybe he already had the treasure? I don't know. Did I? I feel like I missed something along the way there somehow. I don't know. Whatever. So we get a flashback to back when Vivi decided to first go... I mean, they don't say it outright, but it's how she makes the decision to go leave the kingdom in the first place, to go undercover, to try to figure out what's really behind the rebellion. You get an understanding of how committed she is to the country to try to set you up for the decision she's about to make. That's pretty much the reasoning there, I think. Which that, I think, works in that moment. Luffy, meanwhile, is beelining it for the port, the eastern port, and Vivi's about to make her speech. It appears she's about to make her speech in front of all the people back at the castle, but you can't quite see if it's her or not. And then we get a close-up of her, and she starts her speech. I've been on an adventure. And she's speaking into basically it's like a radio, but she's being amplified, and you can see the setup in the square there. So much so that I think even Luffy and company on their ship, once they get a little closer, can hear her. Maybe right away. But everyone hears her. Koza, everybody. It's being broadcast everywhere. She starts her story. We start to realize pretty quickly that she is not actually at the ceremony herself. Luffy and company start to realize she's probably not coming. But then we find out that Vivi is speaking into the radio that's amplifying her from the shore near the port. So she's actually near the ship. So then they think, oh, she is coming. She tells them, I can't go with you. Thank you for everything. I'd like to continue my adventures, but when it comes down to it, I love this kingdom, so I can't go. And that gets broadcast to everybody, so it kind of serves as her speech. Luffy understands. And then we get to the little bit of an issue I have. I still think this ends up working. But we keep having these things happen where we get a little like mild flashback, which adds something that could have been there before. But I mean, I would imagine in the moment when they were writing the story before, they didn't know they wanted to do this, so they had to do it this way. It's just kind of the nature of the format. But sometimes things don't land like they could if you were able to sort of foreshadow it or set it up earlier. If you go too far earlier with this format, people might not remember anyway. I have enough trouble as it is reading it, somewhat straight through. But they flash back to them deciding to all put X's on their arms, basically. And we see Vivi get very upset. If we ever see each other again, will you call me your shipmate? Luffy tries to respond, but Nami stops him. Don't say anything. The Navy is watching. If we give them proof that she's our friend, they'll brand her a criminal. So there's that aspect. So they go to quietly leave. But because they inserted this X thing, everybody on the ship raises their arm that has the cross, the X on it. And Vivi's able to see that. And it makes her feel much better, obviously. So it's actually very effective. It's just kind of unfortunate that it has to be set up so immediately. But then again, in the moment when you're reading it, at least no one's going to miss it. So, but that's my one thing. And they do this a lot, and it feels like it's happening more and more as we move on. So we'll see. And that's technically the end of volume 24, but there's one more chapter in the saga, in the arc and the saga, and that's chapter 217. So let's just do it. Chapter 217, Stowaway. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 31, Save the Catfish Village, exchange the treasure for cooking equipment. Okay, that's what he's running for, to go exchange the treasure. He grabs all the cooking equipment. He's going to go save the village and feed them, cook for them, apparently. Probably using his recipe. See how this is all going to... Yeah, okay, I see what's happening. I see it. We get a little altercation between Lady Hina and Django and Full Body, and they're still simping after her, for her, whatever. We do get to see her bind fruit power here in action, which is pretty cool. And then she does talk to Smoker over the snail radio thing. Tells him she's mad at him because he seems to be pretty happy that the Straw Hats got away. Then we get some scenes around Nanohana and, Alabasta in general, of everyone sort of starting to rebuild. We get Toto, we get Koza, we get the camel for a moment. See Yuba, obviously, since we're seeing Toto. Some of the Kung Fu Yugons for a second. Traveling crab guys there even. So we just kind of get a little bit of everything. Then we get to hear we get Vivi's father saying that the title of father is more important to him than the title of king. He's wondering about Pell. He can't believe that Pell's gone, that he sacrificed himself. And then we see Vivi on Karoo in the distance, watching them leave, tying up her hair. This is where the camel comes in. And then there's a little out of nowhere scene with the doctor saying, hey, when you get home, get lots of rest. Thanks for everything. All right, you forgot your headscarf. Hey, you wait, that headscarf looks familiar. And guess what? No one ever dies. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? Okay, then Vivi takes crew, goes home, quack. As other countries watched in amazement, the kingdom of Alabasta recovered with astounding speed. Yes, Alabasta Arc, Baroque Saga. Captain Smoker and Tashigi have some coffee out of nowhere. They talk about the bounties. They talk about interesting Mr. One was actually some assassin called Das Bones. And then we go back to Luffy and company, who are not being followed by the Navy and missing Vivi. And then, shocking, someone stowed away, and it's Nico Robin. And she wants to join their crew, and she brings up Monkey D. Luffy, so the Way of D is clearly going to be expounded on soon. At least that's what this is telling me. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Anyway, so she wants to join, and that's the end of the chapter, and that's the end of the arc and the saga. I guess Alabasta Arc Baroque Works Saga. I think I have that right. What comes next? It'll be here. Let's find out. Like and subscribe. Peace.